Tyson, Joe Icona with GoBlackKnights.com. How you doing this afternoon?
Good. How are you?
Good. Hey, so last year you were fourth on the team in snaps at the fullback position, but third in rushing attempts, rushing yards. So, when you were in the game, there was definitely a higher percentage chance you were getting the ball as opposed to blocking. How are things developing this spring? Obviously, with the graduation of Cade and Wilson, you're definitely higher in the depth chart now, working with Jacoby. I'm sure getting a lot of reps. How are things working out in terms of where you see your role fitting in this year? In terms of blocking, carrying the ball, as well as even potentially going out for passes as well.
Yeah. So since like the conclusion of last year after the bowl game, I've had to grow up very fast without having Cade and Cato Wilson there. It's kind of become like I've kind of had to step into like a leadership position. Like kind of last year, there was like all five of us, and like we could kind of just like sit back and let Cade and Wilson kind of like lead from the front. But now it's turned into like me and Jacoby like leading the position group with all these like young guys in. And when it comes to like on the field play, like developing my game into like a more well-rounded, like being able to go in and like run any play in the playbook is something I've definitely been working on in this offseason.
How's your health doing? I know, last year you missed a little bit of time with, I guess, I don't even know what kind of injuries. I know they were lower body, but how's your health coming along this spring?
Yeah. Ever since the bowl game, I've been healthy, working out like regular. It's really helped like my mentals and everything when it comes to football, like not having to worry about like a nagging injury. So yeah, I've been healthy all spring and everything. So
it's great to hear. Final question from me. You mentioned the leadership role you've kind of had to take on with some of the young guys that are in the fullback room. And you've got a new position coach this year, right? And Coach Powers, as Coach Vidi's moved on to the offensive line. What's Coach Pat, kind of a two-part question, I guess. A, what's Coach Powers been like to work with? And B, tell me a little bit about some of the young guys that you and Jacoby are mentoring and bringing along.
Yeah, so working with Coach Powers, it's just a little bit different than Coach Vidi, but like just bouncing ideas off him and everything, like just learning new things about the B-back position group and everything. It's been pretty fun like so far with Coach Powers. And me and Kobe working with the young guys. We got a few guys hurt. They're coming along, and then we got let's see if I can name all of them. So we got Bokai, we got Lincoln Parker, Jet Thomas, AJ Williams, Lucky Brooks, Jarrell Dixon, and Markel Johnson and Branson Owens. Like all those guys are coming along. Some of those guys are hurt, but it's looking promising.
Thank you.
All right, kid.
Tyson, how do you like being part of such a big room?
It's a blessing. Like with such a big room, there's such a wide like variety of talent in there. Like different people are better at different things. And so if you're lacking in an area, you can just turn on the film and like watch another kid do what you're lacking at better. And so it's easier to learn that way.
What did you think that you did best last year? And then how did you want to expand your game this year?
I thought the best component of my game was probably running the ball and then IQ. And I definitely want to expand my blocking side. So I've been like looking at clips of Cade and Wilson and see like how they're fitting the runs and stuff like that.
You started by talking about the leadership role in that room. I just would like to hear it in your words. You said you kind of sat back last year, but now you're taking on a new role. So what is it added that you have to do or are doing right now?
Yeah, so with Cade and Wilson last year, so like if we were having a bad day at practice or something like that, like I could just be quiet, sit in the back, and just kind of like let them like get on the guys, like whether we're not getting good looks from like the scout players or like we're just not on our like stuff that day. Like there was Wilson there like to get the guys going and everything, and now like they're gone, and like also we have a lot of O linemen that are gone, and so like those were the guys last year that if we're not on it, like they were able to pump it up and like get some juice going and everything. So like now me along with some of the other guys have had to like step up and like bring that juice.
Sure. You just mentioned about the O-line having to be kind of, rebuilt here.
Mhm.
What are the expectations then for your group? Because this isn't necessarily going to be the lineup that you're going to see in August. So what is it that you try to achieve with not only within your group, but also with the O-linemen?
I mean, the expectations don't lower just because it's like new kids in there. So I expect like the best out of myself, and then I bet you they don't expect any less out of them when they go in for like their next rep and everything. So I mean, there are high expectations here all over.
And how'd you do as far as like weight training? Have you gained weight, lost weight, got stronger? What?
So I've slimmed down. I've slimmed down like 10 pounds, but all my like weightlifting numbers have gone up a lot since last time we tested.
So feeling good, feeling like you're at where you should be.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Sal?
Hey Tyson, how are you?
Good. How about you?
Good. Do you feel like you still have something to prove to yourself on the field? I know you played in some pretty key moments during your career so far, but do you feel like there's still something left out there for you to prove?
100%. 100%. Every day I go out to practice, and like even when we get into the season, like I haven't really done anything. So like I was just keeping that in my mindset, and everything will help me to get through the season.
How important is it for you to stay healthy during this spring practice and go into fall camp the healthiest you can be?
Obviously, like I want to be healthy and everything, but that's not really like anything you can control besides like going out and stretching and like making sure you're putting the right stuff in your body. But like if some wild stuff happened on a play or something like that, there's not really anything I can control.
Kid?
Tyson, back, you mentioned earlier about the playbook. So how are you doing with the playbook? Is it the same this year, or are you just learning how to perform some of those plays better this year?
Yeah, I would say I'm refining my skills when it comes to each of the plays that we have in our playbook. Just going through the fundamentals and making sure I'm getting those down to the best I can.
You obviously, played against Missouri in the bowl game. What's it like? I asked Peyton earlier, what's it like to be done with football, on-field football for all these months? Do you miss it a lot, or do you need to recharge those batteries?
So like the immediate shock is definitely like you're getting recharged and like a little break, but then after a while it's like I'm ready to get back in the off season and like the love for the grind and everything, and like it lasts for about a week, and then after that it's like when's the off season start, like when do we start spring ball again? So
but necessarily weight training and all the team meetings don't necessarily fill it in until you get the actual spring ball, right?
Oh, I love the weight room. I love the meeting room. Those are definitely like if you don't have those places, like how you going to get better on the field? So I definitely love those two places just as much as I love the field.
But being on the field starting 2 weeks ago is the best feeling, yes?
It's a little it's just somewhere else that the weight room in the meeting room doesn't.
Sure. And then just how have the first 2 weeks gone for you?
They've gone pretty well. Just going out there every day, focusing on the fundamentals, and doing my job.